So, Kelly, it's great being here with you with The Grind is Real. Why did you reach out and want to do this?
I wanted to do this because I felt that you were very much an expert in the training side of fitness, and we would have a perfect unity because I am the nutrition brain and you are the training brain.
Yeah.
And I loved that when you and I worked together so much in the past, because a lot of people don't know our history, but if they do, we used to put thousands of people through training plans, training programs, nutrition, and on stage in a lot of different competitive atmospheres, whether it's getting ready to go, to the Army, whether it's getting ready to go do a men's physique competition or bikini competition or figure competition,
right.
Pageants. And so I thought this would be an amazing platform for us to reach people who maybe struggle with the why.
Sure. I would agree, and I'm glad that you did, and why I was excited, for you to reach out, and I don't remember how it all came about, right? Because we've known one another for so long.
Yeah.
But why I want to do it is exactly that. I know you've come so far in your life and in your career, especially with regards to nutrition and macro training and just everything about it, which is amazing, and that's really your love and passion. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, like mine is, more the training aspect of it with some nutrition, right? Quite a bit. Yours is the nutrition with quite a bit training, but why not, parlay with someone and do what you do well and I do well. Mm-hmm. And that is something I think, a lot of people struggle with is the why, right? Mm-hmm. The why as to why they want to lose weight, gain weight, why they would want to do CrossFit, why they would want to, do a show, right? Why they would mm-hmm. want to go keto. So what are some of the whys that you feel people come to you with or you have to overcome as far as nutrition?
And that's where I think we're going to have a lot of similarities is the pain points that I typically see is I don't want to have lab work that looks terrible. Mm-hmm. That's a huge one for me because I'm catering a lot more now toward the autoimmune population. And people who come in with type 2 diabetes or they are pre-diabetic, they've got high cholesterol or their labs just don't look very good. And the other pain point that is, most realistically what I think we see together would be, I just want to be able to go to the beach and take my shirt off and not be embarrassed.
Right.
They haven't even made it to, wow, I look really good. I wonder if I could be better yet. We're looking at people who have these are pain points that follow them around every single day of their life. Maybe they're insecure. I know a lot of my women are very insecure to wear shorts mm-hmm. and a swimsuit. And that's been a huge, just a cloud over them for so long that they're at their breaking point. A lot of people go through divorces. We know that. We've seen that when Scott and I worked together. It was always a shame when we could identify that, wow, this person's self-esteem is really low. Maybe this could have had something to do with why they gave up on their marriage or their relationship. Mm-hmm. And I see that a lot too. So those are some of the whys that I see most, prevalent when I read people's QA form, their intake forms. And a lot of it just has to do with very low self-esteem, not having an encourager. And I think, you and I are two of the most different encouragers, but really impactful because we have our own uniqueness.
So someone comes to you with, let's say, that why, and since you brought up females mm-hmm. A little more, mm-hmm. and I know you work with a ton of males too, but she comes to you and, she's struggling with how she looks, how her confidence is, whether that she's in a relationship or wants to be in a relationship. Yeah. What are some of the points you can help her with, today? I realize mm-hmm. obviously more than maybe someone else, it's not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
But what are one or couple things that you could say to that woman now, and
versus,
say, that she can feel like is really going to change when it comes to her nutrition and mindset.
With nutrition, what's really great about nutrition and is not as great with training, because with training, you got to have a lot of time under tension to see results and changes. And it can happen fairly quickly with training. With nutrition, there are some things that happen instantly. Better energy in the gym, better digestion, better sleep, better hormonal profile. And sometimes it doesn't take very long to see those improvements. And once they feel better and the scale starts going the right direction, they are really motivated. But to let both men and women know that this is not a sprint. It's actually a marathon, if you should look at it that way. And I want you to enjoy the scenery as you are running that marathon and know that you're going to finish. You may not be first, but a lot of people that start out very fast, like a sprinter, end up crashing and burning because we were talking about relationships, and I think a lot of times everything's new and it's exciting, and Americans are so black and white. People are. They're instantly gratified, and they're either on a plan or off a plan. They can't live in the gray, and that's the marathon. And so what I typically tell women is if your expectations are realistic versus ideal, Instagram, social media, ideal, right? You're going to do better than you ever anticipated in this program. And the people that I put you in contact with will be the best professionals in the industry. They're not going to be a guru. They're not going to be somebody who's going to sell you 2,000 supplements. They feel safe, and safety is huge. And as you know, in relationships, safety and security is huge, right?
No, I would agree. And something I recently heard, and it really took to me, was Will Smith talking about perception, right? And so many people, if I were to say, Kelly, and I had a mirror here and you looked at it, what do you see? And hopefully you're like, I see a strong, beautiful woman, right? And then if I crack the mirror, what do you see? And you don't see that same thing. So you try and change your image to fit the broken mirror, right? And that's society, right? We try to change our image to fit whatever it is that society, we think society wants us to look like. And so, I see it with training. People will come in and I just want to get rid of this area right here.
Oh my gosh,
or this little bit, or if I could only lose this, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And there are some coaches out there, some trainers out there that will take advantage of that.
Yes.
And as we know, like, you can't spot reduce. But what I will tell clients, like, is, and even trainers out there, right, is we can target those areas, and we can definitely work on sculpting them a little bit. But as you lose from within, not from without. So the areas you store the most is where you'll see it last.
Yeah.
But as a trainer, like, what we can do is the person can start to see and feel those results pretty quickly too, right? I always sound like abs are made in the kitchen, right? So if they want to see more definition, that's going to have to come from their nutrition. But the training, what that can help do is, sculpt what they have, as well as they can feel it. Because, right, maybe if they wanted to work their glutes and we did a good leg workout that worked their glutes, they felt their glutes, they're like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Yeah. Now when they would go to maybe have that cookie or something that doesn't fit into their macros, they may think twice before grabbing it, because they feel the results.
Yes.
And right, and some people where, like, nutrition, correct me if I'm wrong, right, like, is you will feel some of those results quickly.
Yes.
Some you won't. Where with exercise, right, you're going to feel it. Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I worked really hard today. I'm feeling good about myself.
Or you're sore, and you love that feeling too.
Right.
I remember when we first started working together, you explained to me a concept that I try to explain to other people when they're like, oh, I'm so sore, that means my trainer is doing a good job. And I'm like, not necessarily.
Right.
Because I was more of the feel it next day trainer, where you were more of the feel it right now, and not be as sore. And there's benefits to your method.
Yeah.
Versus the feel it so much for the next 3 to 4 days. Well, that also impacts recovery time and fatigue.
And that's where nutrition obviously plays a part. So, so my tip would be, right, to or takeaways for someone is, if your nutrition's not on point,
yep,
and it's probably not, and it's going to take some time. You need to take that into account with your training because that affects recovery, right? If you're putting garbage in, how can you how can you expect to recover adequately?
Yeah.
Right. So that being said, you might not be able to work out as intensely because you're not getting the right nutrients in and the right macro breakdown in to replenish yourself. So you need to be mindful of that. I had a client once, she was overweight, and I remember to this day, we were trained for about a week or so, and then she's like, I gotta say, I'm kind of disappointed, like I'm not feeling right. And I was like, wow, well, this is why, we don't want to be too sore because then you're not doing anything. She goes, I'm just disappointed. So I go, okay. So I put her through a workout and made her so sore. And the next day she missed. I go, why'd you miss? She's like, oh, honey, I was so sore. I go, did we learn a lesson? And she's like,
good.
Yeah. I go, because now you were so sore, you didn't do anything, and now you feel defeated. And that's what happens with a lot of people, which we're going to get into
because they're impatient.
Later on.
Yeah.
Right, is how to develop a workout routine that is safe and effective along with a nutrition. But I
can't wait for that.
I think, so many people, right, just to circle back, right, is you have to know your why. And we'll deal with this even more, right? But why do you feel you need to lose weight, right? Is it because of Instagram, social media, whatever it is? Or is it simply because your numbers have come up to say, like, you are obese, which is not a knock on someone. That's a factual thing, right? If your body fat percentage
just data.
is
data.
that of, for women 36% and above, for men 26% and above, you are obese, and you are at greater risk of many health issues. So you do need to lose weight, right? That's not a society saying that. That's a medical thing, right? So knowing your why, like, I want to be able to get off meds, have, whatever it may be, or if it is social media, then why is that so important to you?
Agreed. And, I think once people kind of wrap their head around, oh, this is not going to be a fad process again. This is not going to be a 90-day fix. This isn't going to be a cleanse. This isn't going to be one of those things that just happens overnight. In order for fat loss to be sustainable and for muscle gain to stay, the equation has to be perfectly balanced. And that takes some time to do. So with that, we're going to close, and the grind is real.